Happy Tech Talk Tuesday. This is Michael Demong with WeMerge Media, and today is Tech Talk Tuesday. Hello, everybody. I almost thought I wasn't going to make it, and I got here just in time. You may notice things are a little bit different here today. If you have not seen my stories or my reel, we actually have been painting and redecorating the home office. And now I have a little black feature wall behind me now, which I'm going to be adding some accessories to. Got a little bit of lighting going on, got my candle burning, got my make time for what matters still going. But I'm still here. My audio might be a little different today because I don't have my mic set up yet with the new layout. And I'm still getting used to the lighting, trying to figure out the best way to do the lighting with this black wall behind me. But here I am, and here you are. Today, I wanted to jump on for Tech Talk Tuesday and let you know that we're going to talk about what fears might be keeping you from starting your video podcasting journey. I know that there are now 50 people in my video podcasting for beginners group. Video podcasting for beginners group. There's 50 people in there now. Welcome to all the new people who have joined. I wanted to dedicate this episode to all of you inside of the group who are in different phases of starting your video podcasting journey, and just talk about some of the things that people are fearful of when they think about going down this route. So we're going to talk about that today. I'm going to address those things that you identify as potential issues and give you some tips and some guidance as to how to overcome those things. So let me just do a real quick check, make sure that my sound and my video is good. Okay, hear myself. We got some people in the audience. Looks like I am live. Happy Tech Talk Tuesday, Carmen. Thank you for tuning in. As always, go ahead and hit that share button, folks. Thank you for tuning in. Share this with somebody who's within your network, within your community, who could use this information. Everything is keeping me from jumping in. You know that. So I know everybody has their reasons and why they feel that, like, I can't do this, but I'm going to help you get started, which is why I created that video podcasting for beginners group. Kimberly, thank you for tuning in and joining for Tech Talk Tuesday today. So let's just go ahead and dive right in, and let me give you a little bit of backstory as to why I even started this group in the first place and why I'm encouraging you to get started with video podcasting. So when I say video podcasting, everybody might have a different thought, but let's just say video podcasting in this terms of starting to create video content that you can share, whether it be on your own properties, your own website, your social media channels, just creating video content versus only audio or only image content. So video content is something that all of the social media platforms are thriving and want more of. So if you think about the most popular platforms, you think about TikTok, video. You think about what's working on Instagram Reels, video. Think about Facebook, what people who are on there still watching, video. So video content is going to allow you to be able to cross over to all these different platforms. Podcast platforms such as Spotify are also starting to get into the video game. So I'm currently beta testing Spotify's video podcasting feature. And then YouTube is going to be announcing podcasting on their platform. So all of this stuff is starting to come together, and basically what it's boiling down to is multimedia content where people can hear, see, you have more of your senses that you can engage with. Like, this type of content is going to be the content that everybody's moving towards. So you as a business owner, if you're not making video content in some way, shape, or form, you could be missing out on opportunities. So now that we have identified what video podcasting means, and I like to use that term because I just feel like it's the best way to describe all of that and to bring all that stuff together. Let's talk a little bit about why some people don't get started and what are some of the barriers and concerns for doing so. So when people join my video podcasting for beginners Facebook group, I always ask question like, when are you starting? Within the next 6 months, 3 months, what's your timeline? And then also ask people, what are some of your greatest fears about getting started? I'm going to talk about what some of those answers have been. So some of the answers that people are concerned about, and these are very valid concerns because I've had them before and had to work through them and help other people work through them. One of them was feeling like you're going to forget what to say, or feeling the need to have to read a teleprompter and coming across robotic. So if this is one of your concerns, go ahead and let me know in the comments. Yes, that's something I'm concerned about. Let me know. Let's talk a little bit about that. And let me tell you what happens once you start this process. I'm gonna give you some tips on what you can do. And then let me tell you what happens once you get comfortable, because a lot of this is really based on you being comfortable in front of the camera and being comfortable with the technology that you're using. So when I first started out, I remember the first time I started, I sat down with a blank, I'm not gonna say piece of paper, but a digital piece of paper, and typed out the show. So I sat down, thought about what's my topic, okay? What did I want to talk about? What points do I need to highlight in this feature when I do this video? And then what am I gonna say? So I literally, the first time, sat down, kind of first made an outline, same way you would do with like a report, picked out my intro. I knew I wanted to do an intro. I knew I was gonna have to introduce the topic. And then I knew I was gonna hit on certain points, and then I knew I was gonna close out. So that got me started just by creating that outline to kind of have an idea of what the flow was going to be once I had those topics picked out. Now, I always recommend that you talk about and make video content based on those things that are natural and organic to you, things that are your expertise. So a lot of us are either business owners or consultants, and you have something that you do that you know enough of that you can talk to people about. And that's where you can kind of follow this formula. So identify what that thing is, and then whatever that is, for me, it was marketing technology tools. Break that down to all these different categories and create your outlines. So now you have an outline and you're kind of picking out, okay, I know I'm going to do an intro. So you know that I do my intro every time. Hi, this is Michael DeMond. Welcome to Tech Talk Tuesday with WeMerge Media. After so many times, you don't have to remember that. And I don't have to read that off a script. Coming up with those high level bullet points of the things that you want to talk about. The first time I did this, I did type out everything. I thought about the conversation. And at the time, I had my sheet up in front of me and I'm trying to look at the camera. And it's just like, you know what? This is a bit much and it's not natural. So when you're on camera talking, pretend as if you're talking to someone who might be a client or a potential client, and relax and just kind of let yourself be yourself and think about being in a conversation mode rather than in a presenting mode. I'm very casual with Tech Talk Tuesday. I always tell my clients when I'm coaching them through video podcasting, just to be yourself and acting like you're talking to a friend. A friend asks you a question, go ahead and address that question and talk about that as if you're talking to a friend, because that's typically, what people want to connect to. There's no pressure for you to be on stage and just everything perfectly. I make mistakes all the time. I simply correct them and I keep on moving because we're human. That's what we do. So the first show, I did script everything out, and then I had that Google sheet, I believe it was, and I'm just like, okay, that was rough. The next show, what I did was I, being who I am, went to go find, like, there must be a teleprompter app out here somewhere. Like, there has to be a teleprompter app. And yes, there are teleprompter apps that you can use if you feel you need that training wheel. I paid for a year subscription for that software, probably used it maybe 2 or 3 times, and have not touched it since. So there is a teleprompter app. If you want to put that training wheel on and try that out, it's called Big View, BIGVUU. I'll make sure that I put the link down in the description below. Whether you're on your desktop or you're on a mobile phone, they do have an app and you can kind of type everything up. And what's nice about it that I did like was if you're recording, so let's say you're not live and you want to record, you can actually have the teleprompter up in front of you and it kind of like has a delay. So as it's going, you can read that, and then you can kind of go ahead and just kind of speak, and you can control the pace. I like that you can control the pace and kind of just flow with it naturally. What works for you, you can pause it if you want to redo something and kind of go back and forth with it. So that's called Big View. If you want to try the teleprompter, you can. After that, I really have found my flow. So, and this is why I always tell you that it's important for you to just get started in some way, shape, or form, because you are going to change in the process. Once you start doing this, your flow is going to change. You're going to figure out what works for you, and you're going to start to see the repetitive patterns in going live. So the more videos you make, the better you get. I'm here with you today, no script. I honestly didn't know what I was going to talk about, probably took about 5 minutes before I pressed the button to go live, because I'm talking about something that I know. So you just kind of develop a natural flow. And keep in mind too, when you're recording, if you're doing a recorded session, get the information out. Either you or your video editor can clip out the stuff that needs to be kept and that's good, and then get rid of the stuff that may not have worked so well. If you're doing live, like I'm doing right now, the same thing can happen. So I'm using StreamYard, and I broadcast to all these different platforms, and I take my recording afterwards and I edit my recording. So I take the parts that I like, the things that are going to work well for somebody who was not watching live, who is not going to be part of our conversation, and I edit that video for them. And this is why I love making video podcast content, because I can take that video, edit that video, create a video podcast, pull the audio if I want, and distribute that through Apple and through Google Podcasts and all that other stuff. Create a post out of it, take a snip of it, make a reel out of it. Like, there's just so much stuff that you can do with that. And that's why I encourage you to do that. So you're going to find your flow once you get started. But if you never get started, you will not find the flow. Even in the beginning, if you need to just record yourself, because I did that sometimes too, to kind of practice, get comfortable hearing my voice and figuring out where to look at the camera, just record yourself. You don't even have to distribute it and share it. But the more that you make this content, the easier it's going to be. Okay. So let me take a little sip real quick. All right. I'm going to come back to the comments, folks. Thank you for tuning in. I wanted to make sure I cover all these points with everyone. So the teleprompter issue was one. Another one that I saw come in, which is very valid as well, this was recently, was the production side of it. Oh, I feel a sneeze. The production side of it. So once that video is done, what happens to it? So everybody's different. Stay in your lane, as they say, and do what's well for you. So I have two types of clients. I have clients who are comfortable kind of getting their video, and they want to play around with it because they have fun with the video software and they want to edit the video themselves. We have clients who will have us either record, or they will record and then send the video to us. And then here at WeMerge Media, we'll edit the video for them. And actually there's a third. You can also find somebody else to do it for you. And one of the most popular platforms that you can use to find video editors, I'm actually testing out someone to kind of re-edit all of my Tech Talk Tuesday episodes, is on Fiverr. Fiverr, I go on there, find somebody who does video editing. Since I have all these live shows, I have 2 years, almost 3 years worth of content that I could be repurposing and having clipped up. So I'm to the point now where I can't really spend my time editing as much as I love editing, but now I send my videos out and have them done. And you'd be surprised how inexpensive video editing can be. So prices will range depending on, how long your video is and all of that good stuff. But I've seen some gigs on there from as low as $20 up to about, hundreds of dollars, depending on what you're asking to have done. So the price range is there. And if you figure, okay, if I'm doing one video a week and I'm getting that edited, let's say on average, I'm spending $25 a video, and it's $100 in a month for video content that I know I can repurpose that content and way exceed the $100 cost that it's going to cost me to get that video edited. So if you're concerned about production, you can be as simple as getting in front of your camera, doing the part that nobody else can do, which is being you and recording and sharing the knowledge, and then hand that video over to somebody else to be able to do it for you. It can be that simple. Okay. So that does not have to be a barrier. You just have to get the content recorded. What else? What are the other things that we've seen in there? We talked about the teleprompter. Oh, so just the technology overall. So wondering and being fearful of the technology. thinking that you have to have like tons of expensive equipment, high cost mics and cameras. I'm using my iMac computer right now. It has a camera built in it. I think this computer is probably 10 years old. It still records and it's good. The audio works. Most of us have phones. So if you have a phone like this, you can take your phone, sit your phone up in like a phone holder and turn your camera on and record yourself that way too. So like I have a ring light on my desk right now. It has a phone holder, so I can put that in there. And if I wanted to make content with my phone and use a much better camera, I could do that. So nowadays, having expensive equipment is not necessary for the type of video content that we as creators and entrepreneurs make. Yes, it's nice to have high digital 4K, all this fancy stuff and sound, but it's not necessary to start. I've been making video content now for about 3 years now, and I'm slowly starting to kind of upgrade things a little bit because I have my system down and I have my tools down and I'm comfortable. So it doesn't make sense to make all those investments in the beginning only to add more intimidation to your process because you don't know how to use it. So start simple with the most basic things that you can. I've recorded sessions with people in StreamYard. I recorded sessions with people in Zoom, edit that video up. I've had people record stuff on their phone. I've even had people just take their phone, record audio, send us audio, and we put that together with a lot of why did I forget the name that fast? I can't remember the name of it. But footage that we get, we just put the voice over with the footage and put that together and create video. So there's a lot of different ways that you can do this process. I'm hoping that I touched on something that is keeping you from starting. You know, if I missed anything, let me know in the comments. One of the most general things is probably just purely simple fear of being on camera. I know a lot of people have that. And the best way that I think to overcome that, you know, through at your own pace is don't worry about going live. Just get in front of your camera and practice recording yourself and then watch the recordings back. And you'll find stuff that you want to tweak and adjust and make adjustments. And then, like I said, let's say you do that for a month and maybe now you have all these video clips and you're like, you know what? I like some of these. Fire them off to somebody, have them edit them up. And now you have video footage that you can work into your content distribution. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead into the comments, see what kind of questions came up, see if I missed anything from anyone, and just kind of get your thoughts here. So let's see here. Carmen said, TikTok is too addictive. I'm creating nothing but consuming way too much. So Carmen, you touched on something very valid and valuable that I was considering for today's episode. And since it came up, I'm going to talk about it now. So what I've done differently over the past, I would say, I don't know, month, I've been trying to get back to my productivity level because I noticed that my productivity has been low. And when I evaluated what I'm doing throughout the day, I'm like, okay, how am I spending my time? One of the biggest time stealers that I've caught for myself was my phone. And simply having my phone next to me all the time with the screen up, I keep the sound off. You know, I don't have any vibration with the notifications, but because I don't have those things on, I'm constantly checking the phone and checking the phone. So I've been turning my phone off lately because all it takes is one notification to get your attention and send you down a whole nother line. So when it comes to social media, I've not been on there as much lately because I'm actually producing content so that I can then be more focused on my business goals and make the content work for that. But what I wanted to say about social media is that, yeah, I still use social media. You know, I could benefit from using it more consistently, but not operating as a consumer. Okay. So there's two ways that you can enjoy that social media platform. I think that as business owners, if you're going to use it for marketing, you have to decide how much of the time that you spending on social media is for consumption, and then how much of your time is for production. So that helped me a lot thinking about, like, most of us, me included, was spending way too much time as a consumer of social media and not enough time of a producer of content for social media for those who want to consume. So I'm pivoting that process and being more strategic about, you know, creating content that I could distribute through there. But I had to recognize that I'm like, oh, wait, the people who are on there making money aren't on there making money because they're on there acting like a consumer. they're acting like a producer. They're producing content. So I would just say to be mindful about how you spend your time on social media and think, are you in consumer mode right now? Or are you in producer creator mode? Figure out which one is going to be good for you. Let's see here. Heirloom Vintage. Hello, Jacqueline. Thanks for tuning in for Tech Talk. She says, just getting started and learning equipment technology. That is awesome. I'm telling you, like it's really just kind of starting that process and keeping it simple as possible. Like I mentioned, most of us, if not all, have used Zoom at some point over the past 2 years, and you can even do this with Zoom. Zoom lets you go live to either Facebook or YouTube. You can't do both at the same time, but you can do one or the other. So if you want to go live, you can even just do that. It could just be you in the studio creating your content that way. Okay. Carmen says, teleprompter app. Yep, only you would think of something like that. There's something out there for everything. So I knew that there had to be something, and I totally found it. So thank you on that. Let's see, the power of repurposing. Yes, for other projects and shares. That's the way to do it. Like, you can post 30 times, but that doesn't mean you have to create 30 different things. You know, having stuff that you can repurpose, clip up, and use in multiple different ways is the way to go. Daphne, thank you for joining us for Tech Talk Tuesday. She said, I've been trying to get comfortable going live. I get it. And it's a process, and it comes with frequency. Making myself go live at least once a week has helped me overcome that and get comfortable with it. You know, you get your regular people that show up. It's just like visiting with family at this point. Like today, I was exhausted because I've been trying to figure some projects, and I'm just like, oh, do I post a recording today or do I go live today? And I'm like, nope, my people are there. Let me show up. And here I am. I got myself to the camera. But yeah, you know, like it becomes very casual at some point once you do it enough. So I've been doing so much better. That's good. That's good. All right. Great perspective. Is it possible to edit Facebook Live content? Excellent question. Because I know you've been doing your lives, Cameron. Congratulations. And kudos to you for doing that, for showing up for that regularly. Short answer is yes. Does Facebook make it easy? No. So your video content can be downloaded, and if you're doing it from your phone, there's a few more steps you have to take. Maybe I need to create a tutorial video on how to do that, because I saw it once. Like on the computer, it's much easier to do. When you go live on Facebook from the computer, you can go to Creator Studio and you can download. I have to see if the Creator Studio mobile app lets you download your lives. The thing that you have to keep in mind, though, if you're going live to your personal page as opposed to your business page, the process is different. So, Carmen, that's a great question. I'm going to get those answers, and I'm going to share that because that's good for people to know. My mom says, I've definitely noticed how comfortable you are now. Yes, I rolled out of bed and came on here today. Literally did that. So I'm super comfortable now. Thanks for tuning in for Tech Talk. All right, so good questions, everybody. Thank you for tuning in for today's episode. We got one more here. Does it make a difference if you use StreamYard or Zoom when going live? I'm about to go live more frequently. So the main difference and the reason why I choose StreamYard over Zoom is basically because I want to be able to be live in multiple places, that repurposing. So with StreamYard, I can be live on Facebook and YouTube and LinkedIn. Actually, once you get a creator profile, you can be live on all those simultaneously. Of course, depending on which level of StreamYard you have. Zoom, as far as I can, I don't think they've changed it, only allows you to choose one or the other. So you can go live to Facebook or you can go live to YouTube at that single time. So if your primary audience is on Facebook, then I would say, you can use Zoom and keep it simple. That'll allow you to be able to choose that. You do have to connect your page that you want to go live to, and there's some steps you have to take for that, but you can do that. When you get to the point, because my purpose for, even in the beginning, starting out with the multi-channel was because I know that YouTube content takes longer to build. So I'm like, okay, if I'm going to do this, let me do this on YouTube and Facebook at the same time, so that I can build that stuff up and have content building over there. So even though I didn't have an audience or a following there, because I was creating content, the people came afterwards. So that's one thing to keep in mind with StreamYard, is the ability to be able to be in both. And even though you don't have subscribers, you'll get subscribers if you keep on posting on a regular basis. So I like StreamYard for that reason. And then I like StreamYard too because They have all these tools. I'm hearing that Facebook might be adding, not Facebook, Zoom might be adding some of these tools. But I like having the in-show graphics. So what are in-show graphics? Like right now, if I wanted to do an overlay over myself, I can click a button here and add that overlay. I have banners that I can pull up on the screen. So I like being able to kind of almost work as if I'm producing the show. Like typically I used to do this stuff post-production, but I can do this stuff live, and I can create that stuff here. And the other thing that I get to do too, because I'm going live, is that I can pull your comments up. So this is another reason why I like to use StreamYard, because I can get the comments pulled up in here, and it just gives the show a different kind of feel. It actually makes it feel like a show, put it that way. So you don't have to do all the stuff in post-production. So it's a huge, huge time saver. So hopefully that answers your question. Let's see, Daphne said StreamYard also allows you to, oh yeah, thank you, Daphne. That's so true. So not only do you have to go live in StreamYard, Daphne brought up and reminded me that you can also pre-record. So I've done that before, where I'll come in here and I'll pre-record and I'll use my show graphics and all that stuff and do it right here. And then I can schedule that recording to post whenever, I want it to be. And if, say, I have an old video that I want to repurpose and repost as like a live, you can do that here too. And music. I forgot about the music. So the music's in here now. So if I wanted to play some background music, I think I probably had it down low. But I have background music that I can play. So it gives you all those production type tools right inside. So I am going to now go over to Bond to Build, because today is Tech Talk Tuesday, which means the help desk. Our help desk is about to open up. So anybody who needs technical support, assistance, maybe you have questions about Zoom, StreamYard, something else that you're using within your business, I offer free tech support every Tuesday. Go to bondtobuild.com and create a login if you don't have one already. I'm actually going to hop outside of here and go inside of there and open it up. I'll be there for an hour, so if you need any help, you'll be able to just jump on in the Zoom. It starts at 5 o'clock my time, which is about 3 minutes from now, wherever you are, and I'll be there for an hour. It's now free, so you can just hop on in there. You might see a little live indicator once I open it up. Just go to the events and you'll see help this hour, okay? So thanks everybody for tuning in for today's show. I'm about to hop on in there. Thank you very much, Wallace. The Premiere option, yes, I've used the Premiere option when I'm traveling. So if I'm going to be traveling and I want to have the show air, I just do the recording thing and people watch it as if it's live. Of course, they don't get the comments and all that stuff, but it operates the same way. Okay. So I'll see you at the help desk hour if you're going to go there. Bondtobuild.com if you need any help. I'll see you there.